And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Tower of Power, the King of Sting, the Chairman of the Board, the Chicken of the Sea, the new artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. Welcome them to the show. Welcome to the show, artificial intelligence. My new friend here, artificial intelligence, my new robot friend, I want to bring them on the show. If I can bring a human on the show and ask them questions, why can't I bring artificial intelligence on the show and ask them questions? So what we're going to do here is we are going to ask them questions today about speed reading. Is speed reading possible, and how to speed read? There are some speed reading experts out there. Howard Berg, world's fastest reader. He lives here in Dallas, where I live. He's a friend of mine. I haven't talked to Howard in a few years, but if you're watching this, Howard, hey, it's good to see you. It's good for you to see me. I guess I can't see you, but text me sometime. But there are speed readers out there, and I don't really consider myself a speed reader. I do use speed reading techniques, and maybe in this video, I'll explain to you what I use those speed reading techniques for. But first of all, let's just answer the question, is speed reading possible? So I'm going to type this right in here to our guest. Our guest is artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. I'm going to ask our guest, is speed reading possible? And then we're going to have a conversation, the robot and me, about speed reading. Is speed reading possible? Let's see. Okay. Speed reading, our guest today tells us speed reading is a technique that aims to increase the speed at which a person reads while maximizing and maintaining or even increasing comprehension. While it's true that some people are naturally able to read faster, many people can learn to read through training and practice. So I guess it's saying that yes, it is. Our robot here, artificial intelligence, is saying yes, speed reading is possible. Let's see what else they say. However, it's important to keep in mind that speed reading is not for everyone. I do agree with this. I'll be honest with you, my opinion over speed reading has changed over the years. I used to believe that you could read, 2,000 or 3,000 words a minute and just zoom through books and memorize it all and be like this superhuman computer. I'm beginning to believe that's more of stuff of science fiction movies. But I do think there is a way where you can double your reading speed and read with comprehension and get through stuff faster. This is my personal opinion. Let's get back to what the artificial intelligence says. It says that it's not for everyone. Also keep in mind that speed reading is not suitable for all types of text. For example, it's not good for technical reports. It's not good for scientific papers or legal texts that require more in-depth understanding. Excellent point there. I don't think you're going to speed read your chemistry book, but you may speed read a Mark Twain book, okay? But then why would you speed read a Mark Twain book? You're reading Mark Twain book for entertainment and enjoyment, right? So why not relax? So there's some things that it's probably good for. Research has been shown that speed reading can result in increased reading speed, but that it may come with the cost of decreased comprehension. This is so true. Guys, this is what I want to say about speed reading before we dive into more on what ChatGPT says on how to speed read. This is the conclusion that I've come to on speed reading. It is possible your comprehension will decrease the faster you go. There's no two ways you can get around that. Do I use speed reading techniques? Yes, I do. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT how to speed read here in 1 second. But here's where I personally use speed reading techniques. Let's say that I've got a book and I don't know if I want to spend the time reading it. Do you know what I'll do? I'll read the back cover, I'll read the table of contents, I'll read the chapter summary, and then I'll speed read it. And I'll be like, is this book any good? Is there anything in here that catches my eye? And if in that skimming speed reading process, I'm like, whoa, this is some really interesting stuff here. I slow down, I start over, and I read it slowly, and I take notes, and I underline, and I highlight. That's one way that I use speed reading. Or maybe I'm looking for something specifically in a text. I will speed read the text to find that information. Or if I just want to get a general idea of the topic, these are ways that I personally use speed reading. It's important to keep in mind that speed reading is a complex cognitive task that is influenced by many factors, such as background knowledge. That's true. If you're a doctor and you're reading a report on a surgery that just happened, you have a lot of background knowledge. So you're going to be able to read that faster than me, somebody who has no background knowledge, and I'm going to be looking at all these words not knowing what they mean. That's going to slow me down. You're going to be reading it knowing what they mean. You can read faster. Background knowledge is huge in determining your reading speed. The type of text, the reader's level of focus and attention, there are different techniques to improve reading and comprehension, but everyone is different, and what works for one may not work for the other. I asked that question, is speed reading possible, to my robot guest here, and basically I think it said it is. I think it said that if you the faster you go, though, sometimes the comprehension level is going to decrease. So let's ask it another question. How to speed read? How do you do it? If it's possible, how do you do it? Okay, so this is what it's saying here. It's looking at like it's giving us a bullet-pointed list. Number one, it says skimming. Skimming is a technique that involves quickly scanning the text to get the main idea without reading every word. This can be done by reading the first and last sentences of a paragraph, looking for keywords, or focusing on headings and subheadings. This right here, this number one bullet point, this is something that I will do. This says read the first sentence and the last sentence of each paragraph. Why would our robot guest, artificial intelligence, suggest this technique? Here's why. When an author is writing a paragraph, often the first sentence of the paragraph tells you what the paragraph is going to be about, and the last sentence summarizes what the paragraph was about. So if you can read the first sentence and the last sentence, you can often get the gist of what that paragraph is about. The middle of the paragraph is laying out the points that make up those two main ideas. So that's an excellent point on skimming and, of course, looking for the bold words. Number two, it says chunking. Chunking is a technique that involves grouping words or phrases together to increase the speed at which you read. This can be done by focusing on a word or phrase and then quickly moving your eyes to the next one. You know, chunking is something that our brain does naturally anyways for some words. And anyways, if you see the word Statue of Liberty written out, our brain is trained to see that in a chunk, Statue of Liberty, as one word, one concept. You're not reading Statue of Liberty. You're reading Statue of Liberty. So chunking is something you can train your brain to do, not just with words like the Statue of Liberty or Department of Defense or War of 1812, things that you are trained to see as a group, but start seeing more words as a group. Number three, so number one is skimming, two is chunking, three is fixation. This is, I would say, the best memory training, the best speed reading technique that there is, fixation. Let's see what ChatGPT, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I don't want to interrupt my guest. So let's see what it says fixation is, and then I'll give you my response to it. Fixation is a technique that involves training your eyes to stay on a line of text longer than moving them frequently. This can be done by training your eyes to read more than one word at a time, by using a ruler or a card to cover the text you've already read, or by using software that displays text one line at a time. Okay. So I see what this is saying, but I'm going to take this a step further because I don't think the artificial intelligence went far enough here. I'm not arguing with a computer. The computer's definitely smarter than me, but I don't think it went far enough, and I'll make my case as to why. So fixation. You're reading something, and this bullet point here says use a note card to cover what you already read to keep your eye from wandering back up the page. I think that's great. I think that's fine. But you know what? You're still wandering on that line. Your eye is still wandering on that line. Your eye fixates on different things, and it bounces around the page. And that's what this bullet point is talking about. Have you ever seen speed readers, and they've got their hand or their pencil, and they're moving their hand or their pencil across the line like that? Do you know what they're doing? They're forcing their eye to fixate on that word and forcing their eye to follow their finger. By forcing their eye to follow their finger, they're reading faster. Because if you don't do that, here's the sentence, the boy ran to the store. If you're not using your finger to push your eye across the page, your eye will read that this way. The boy ran to, the boy ran to the boy ran to the store, the boy ran to the store. And you're doing it so fast, you don't realize you're doing it. But because you're doing it, it's slowing you down. So if you can put your finger or your pencil under a word and you can push your eye across the page, you force your eye to go in a steady stream. You force your eye to read at a good rate there. And that is what it's talking about in fixation. So I don't think it's enough just to cover the page. I'm sorry, ChatGPT. I think you made a good point, but I think you could have gone farther into it and made it better if you talked about forcing your eye across the page. Now, maybe I've jumped ahead of myself and it's about to say this, and I've interrupted my guest. If so, robot guest, I don't mean to be rude. Number 4, mental imaging. This technique involves creating mental images of the text you're reading. This can be done by visualizing words or concepts in your mind or by creating mental images or characters or scenes in the story. Absolutely. You know what? I've been a memory champion. I've held some records, and the way I improve my memory and remember more is by visualizing. Take what you have just read, sit back, close your eyes, see it as a story or create it. If you're reading a book on, I'm just picking something out of random air, how to fix an engine, close your eyes and try to visualize that engine. I don't know why I just thought of that example. I've never in my life read a book on how to. You know why I think I thought of that? Because my Jeep is in the shop right now, and I'm about to get a price tag of $5,000 or $10,000. I need you to go buy my memory course. Click the link down below and go buy my memory course. Help me pay for my Jeep repair. Number 5, vocabulary. The more words you know, the easier it'll be to read and understand. This is a very solid point. The people who have larger vocabularies are going to read faster because they know what the word means and they're just skimming through it. People who have lower vocabularies are going to find it more difficult to read faster because they're going to read something and they're not going to know what it means and it's confusing, and so they're going to slow down. Improving your vocabulary will improve your reading speed. Number 6, practice. Like anything, speed reading is a skill that can be improved through practice. Set a time to read and practice your speed reading techniques. This is so true. It's like you know how to swing a golf club, you know how to swing a baseball bat, but just because you know how to do it, unless you get out there and do it, you're not going to get better at it. So practice. So I asked ChatGPT, is speed reading possible and how to speed read, and this was its answer: skim, chunk, fixate, and fixate is where you use your finger. Use mental images, improve your vocabulary, and practice. So my name is Ron White. I'm a 2-time USA memory champion. I have a course on improving your memory. It's called Black Belt Memory. Click the link down below, get a free gift, and maybe get the course, not just because you want to help me fix my Jeep, but maybe you do. If you liked this, if you liked my guest here today, ChatGPT, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below with, what do you like to read? What do you like to read? Do you like to read fiction? Do you like to read nonfiction? Do you speed read? Do you not speed read? How are you at reading? Comment below. Let's get a dialogue going. Tell me the next question you want me to ask artificial intelligence, and I will. And I will see you if you subscribe. If you subscribe, I'll see you on the next video.